And Reese, it says Compulsive Gamer, that O.C.G on here playing, you guessed it. Steelrising. Going back to the starting region, St. Cloud, or Saint-Cloud, to save the Queen. It's part of side quest. Doing everything, all the side quests I can before the game's final big push. Options. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's pretty. That's awesome. Fuck yeah. You got it at just the right time, too. There's so many great games coming out this year that are only PS5 exclusives. Final Fantasy 16, PlayStation exclusive, Horizon Forbidden West DLC coming out. That's great. Now I know where, yeah. Well, no better way to no better way to break in your new console than by playing a 25-year-old game. But I'm just kidding. I play old games all the time. It's the only way. You said you got it by saving up, so you didn't have to sell your Xbox? I mean, it's a classic Christmas movie. Nothing wrong with that. Home Alone is still really good. The real question everybody wants to know is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Okay. Well, your mom is a very good mom. You should make sure to give her a hug. Tell her thank you. She did not have to do that. At all. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Die Hard 2 is also definitely a Christmas movie. The first one is because it takes place like right after. Hold on. But yeah, one of the Lethal Weapons, I remember that, takes place during the holiday season, because Mel Gibson goes over to Donald Glover's house, and eats with his family, and they're like by the Christmas tree. I remember that. I've seen all the Lethal Weapons. It's been a long fucking time, but I've seen them all. Yeah, Lethal. Yeah. Plus, you can tell. I'm sure you can already tell after streaming that PlayStation is way better when it comes to streaming. Like, huh? You have to give me a minute to think about that. That's a tricky question, but it's a good one. What do I think is a Christmas film that other people don't think is a Christmas film? Huh? Yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, I was gonna say you probably can already tell that it's so much better streaming on PlayStation. Like, you can actually fucking see the messages that people send you in the chat on the screen. Like, I hate the fact that Xbox always makes you fucking have a phone out. Like, it's so distracting to have to pull out your phone every time anyone says that. Well, that's great. You just gotta keep at it. The more you stream, the more YouTube pushes you in the algorithm. I mean, every now and then, I'll have to open up my phone on PlayStation, because if it's a long message, I won't see all of it. But that's only occasionally. For Xbox, it's fucking everything. Yeah, exactly. There's no notifications, so unless you're constantly checking, you're not gonna know. I mean, you're exactly right. Like, I used to miss all kinds of messages on Twitch and shit because, like, unless I was checking my phone all the time, which you don't want to be doing when you're trying to play a game, you're gonna miss a lot of stuff. Like, and it kind of baffles me because usually Xbox is like really with the times, you know? They're really like with the curve, but not with streaming. I mean, their streaming is fucking outdated. It was outdated when it came to Xbox One. And they have not updated it in 10 years. It just makes me wonder why. Oh, exactly. You don't know. It's fucking weird that they have just, like, left the streaming so fucking archaic. Oh, it is an interesting game. It's a very unique game. Steelrising. It's set in an alternate 18th century France, where instead of Marie Antoinette and her husband dying, King Louis went crazy and made an army of robots. So it's like set in the past, but with fucking robots. I'm a big history buff. So I like a lot of these games that have a historical basis. Let me think. A film that's a Christmas movie that not enough people need to think about for Christmas. Maybe Superman 2. If I remember correctly, a large part of Superman 2 takes place during the winter, around the holiday seasons. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. I remember that. Yeah, like that movie has a shit ton of Christmas stuff in it. Half that movie takes place during the holidays. Yeah, no, that definitely counts. Like even like major parts of the game have like Christmas or movie have Christmas celebrations. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's a fucking dark Christmas movie, but it's a Christmas movie. Tell me what. I mean, sure. Anyone thing you want to tell me, feel free to tell me. I'm still trying to think of it. It's just an interesting question. I know a lot of the Harry Potter movies have a substantial portion that's set during Christmas. You can count a lot of those. Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz. That is a movie that takes place largely in the winter. That has a bunch of stuff like that, and it is a fucking Christmas film. And I think it's great. It is okay. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing that it finally got fixed because I tried playing it before, unplayable. It was liable to give you a seizure. It was so bad. It's a bad thing that fucking Ubisoft had to go in and fix it when it was not a problem with the game. It was a problem with Sony's backwards compatibility. Ubisoft shouldn't have had to fix it. It wasn't a problem on their end. That just shows how fucking lazy they are. And that's one of the only things I really don't like about PS5 is the vast majority of, well, yeah, wow. I'm sorry, I shouted you out before in the actual stream. I said that you told me. But yeah, no, I agree. I've been playing it. It's great now. I specifically tested out the Dragoon forms and Astral Drain, and it works just fine now. I'm actually really surprised they fixed it so quickly. It took them 6 days. Like, it launched on the 21st, they had it fixed on the 27th. I thought it was going to take them a couple weeks, if I was honest with you. I thought it'd be sometime in March or fucking April. So, I mean, hats off to them. They should have never have launched it like that, but at least they fixed it. But yeah, no, it's cool. But yeah, like I said, one of the things that I hate about PS5, is 99.9% of all of the PS4 games work just fine on PS5. Virtually all of them, okay? But there are a couple that work terribly, And Sony has never tried to fix them. They gave up on fixing them. Ape Escape 2, fucking unplayable on PS5. Massive issues and glitches. Primal, I love Primal, fucking awful on PS5. Sleeping Dogs, another game you mentioned having issues. And there's a couple of them that I can't think of right now, but there's a handful of them that just have super duper issues. And Sony didn't even try to fix them. They just said, well, we're never going to update them. The only reason a Syndicate got fixed is because the fucking developer of the game went in and fixed it. And they shouldn't have had to do that. It was never a problem on their end. It was a problem with the PS5 emulator. Or the PS4 emulator in PS5. So, like, Sony really should have fixed the games that had a problem. Especially because Primal is a Sony game. And so is Ape Escape. Those are games made by fucking Sony. So if they were gonna fix any of them, man, you'd really hope it would be fucking their own games. But no, I'm sorry. You're right. I probably should have given you a shout out, brother man. I did give you a shout out in the streams when somebody asked me about, you know, the game. I said you were the one who told me about the problems. So I honestly was scrambling to get it together, the video, because them fixing it caught me off guard. It just dropped in the middle of the morning. They didn't say, oh, here's a patch. They didn't announce it, just boom. So I was like scrambling to try and get together a decent video and show off the game and edit it, and that takes time, so I've been playing it. I got to the marshlands, and next time I play it, I'm gonna go to the volcano villitude. So yeah, I'm so glad they fixed it. And you know, it just goes to show you the difference, right? Because Xbox had a couple of games. Oh, that's awesome. Denigrad. See, that's my favorite chapter of the game right there. The third one, Chapter 3, I love it. I love the aesthetic. The wintry forests. I love Chapter 3. But that just goes to show you the difference in the developers. Because Xbox had a couple of games. Yeah, right? I love the Winglies. Xbox had a couple of games that didn't work right when they initially launched on backwards compatibility. Halo Reach, for example, used to fucking suck on Xbox One and Series X. It was broken. It was way worse than the original game and was almost unplayable. They patched it. Gears of War 3 and Judgment didn't run well when they first launched. Due to the way they used VSync, they patched it. And countless other games, like, if there was a game in backwards compatibility that had issues, Microsoft fixed it, whereas Sony didn't. And I mean, it doesn't look like they're ever going to. So, games like Primal, you can't play in a good state anymore. They're just fucking ganked. Oh, man. You know, I really hope they would work on a remake. Don't get me wrong, I agree with you. It's just like, it doesn't seem very likely. The Legend of Dragoon is still a niche series, as much as I love it. And remaking it, they would have to redesign the game. Like, I don't think they would be willing to release it as is with better graphics. They would have to make it a 3D behind the back kind of game. It would almost have to be like Final Fantasy VII, reimagining it to be behind the back 3D camera. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. That, you know, the money that would take to remake all of Legend of Dragoon like that, though? And I'm not saying it wouldn't be worth it. I'm just saying, if you were gonna modernize Legend of Dragoon, yes, and The Last of Us was fucking great. The remake for The Last of Us was great. Like, a lot of people are shitting on that remake, but let me tell you from experience, it's a fucking great remake. I am a die-hard Last of Us fan. I fucking love The Last of Us. I put over 200 hours into The Last of Us. It is a great remake. But that's because Last of Us has sold 40 million copies. And they had a show coming out, so they were getting a surge in popularity. Legend of Dragoon came out 23 years ago. Oh my god. Don't play with my heart. Dude, if they did anything, literally anything, with Legacy of Kain, I would jump for fucking joy. They haven't even re-released the games. Just fucking re-release them. Like, you know, I would love a remake, but just let me play Bloodborne and Soul Reaver. Just take all the games, take all 5 of them, and boom. Right? Just, you know, but here, right? Right? Oh my god. See, that's what I'm saying is, this actually could happen, okay? Because not too long ago, they sold Square Enix sold Crystal Dynamics to Embracer Group. And Crystal Dynamics went on record as saying that Embracer is allowing them to look through their back catalog and make more of the games that they want to make. Whereas Square Enix basically forced them to stick on Tomb Raider. And then they took a survey. No, they probably won't remake The Last of Us 2. It's too soon. They'll probably do a PS5 version of The Last of Us 2, a director's cut with new DLC. They won't remake it, though. With The Last of Us 1, a remake was fine because it was a PS3 game. It was 2 generations. But with The Last of Us 2, it's just too soon. And they're going to do a director's cut, though, that adds DLC. That's what they're going to do. That's the rumor, anyway. It seems credible, though. The same people that said that they were going to get a director's cut of 2 were right about them remaking 1. So if they were right about 1... But either way, they took a survey about what games people wanted to see, and they said that they had a record amount of people taking the survey, more than any other survey they've ever done, and that they overwhelmingly voted for more Soul Reaver. They said they were fucking flooded with requests to do more Legacy of Kain and remake them. And they even told people that they heard their message and they were looking into it, okay? So we might actually get a remaster or a new fucking Legacy of Kain game. They've said the fan demand is high. They said they looked at it, and they've even said they've been allowed to start making some of their older catalog. So, fingers crossed, it might actually happen. Because I love Soul Reaver so fucking much. Oh my god, I love Soul Reaver. Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Just like the fucking story. Right? Right? Okay? Like, you know, so it literally take all 5 of the games, Blood Omen, Soul Reaver 2, Blood Omen 2, Defiance, take all 5 of them, wrap them up in a bundle, just make them HD, make them 60 FPS, throw them all on our systems. I would throw money at that. Yes, remember Shadow Man? I have that remaster. That is a fucking cool remaster. Have you played the Shadow Man remaster? Because they did an amazing job with it. It's closer to a remake than a remaster of Shadow Man. But that was because it was done by fucking Night Dive. And that's what Night Dive does, is do kick-ass remasters. Okay, dude, you need to play the Shadow Man remaster then, okay? Number one, they added better textures, better draw distance, better lighting, real-time lighting. They redid the controls to be twin-stick controls where you look and shoot. They added accessibility options, quick save, and they actually worked with the developers to add in the unreleased content. Because Shadow Man actually came out unfinished. They were rushed to the release date, so they cut out a bunch of levels from the game. Night Dive went and got the original team and worked with them to add in the deleted content and make it in the game. So, like, the Shadow Man remaster is only like, what, $20? It's really fucking good. It was a dark game, yeah. But, no, I agree. Soul Reaver is what introduced me to it. Soul Reaver was actually one of the very first games I ever played. Ever. Oh, no! No, what do you mean? What do you mean? I like the medieval remake. Why don't you like the medieval remake? I have never, you know what, if I'm honest with you, Flicks, I've never heard of Pygenesis. Or, I don't even know how to fucking say that. Dude, there are so many PS1 games. Okay. I've heard about Destruction Derby. Okay. Wipeout? Oh, man. Okay. Okay, now, yeah. I know Wipeout. Well, I mean, you know, to each their own. I'm not gonna, like, hate on you for not liking it, but I played the remake and I really enjoyed it. And I thought it was very faithful to the original, and it was a joy to play. Also, fun fact, you can actually unlock the original Medieval in the remake. And they upscaled it and everything. The whole entire original Medieval. There's like a new side quest they've added, and if you do it, you unlock the classic game. Yeah, I remember Codemasters. I remember Codemasters.
You called, madame?
Aegis, thank heavens you're here. We're under siege. In the courtyard, one of the king's creatures. It seems determined to destroy the chateau walls.
I played a lot of older games.
Here is the key to the gate. It will lead you to the courtyard. Hurry! Our lives are in your hands.
Like, I have a wide variety of tastes in games. I don't like it when people only play new games. Like, to me, I think that's really shitty. Same with people who only listen to new music. It's like, just because something didn't come out 5 minutes ago doesn't mean it's not worth your time. I gotta be honest with you, I am not really into that stuff, so I don't even know who that is. But it's unfortunate if anyone dies, so that sucks. I'm not really big on sports. I'm not really big on, like, boxing. Yeah, exactly. I'm 26. I'll be 27 in May. So I grew up playing the original PlayStation, playing GameCube, playing Xbox, playing 64. But I'm saying even then, I've gone back and I've played older games. You know, like... I haven't even heard of that either. Voice crack there. It's a bit before my time, but I actually have played an Atari 2600. We had one at my house, and I played the original Pitfall. So, I may not have, like, played a shit ton of Atari stuff, but I have played an Atari. But if I'm honest with you, for me, my interest in games is mainly 16-bit and up. Like, I think the SNES and the Genesis is where they mastered the 2D in games. I don't find 8-bit very appealing artistically, but it's like, if you look at many of the 16-bit games, they still look fucking amazing today. Like Chrono Trigger still looks amazing. Super Mario RPG looks amazing. Like, I think the 16-bit, it was like the peak. Yeah, Killer Instinct. I literally have a Dreamcast for one fucking reason. I own a Dreamcast specifically for Soul Reaver. Okay? Because it turns out that they made an enhanced version of Soul Reaver only for the Dreamcast. It's the best version of the game. Primal Rage? Yeah, I've heard about Primal Rage. I haven't really played it that much, but I know what you're talking about. Honestly, fighting games have kind of went downhill lately. Like, we don't get anywhere near as many fighting games as we used to. For a long time, we didn't even get fucking Soul Calibur. Thankfully, Soul Calibur made a resurgence with 6. But for a long time, we didn't have Soul Calibur. Pretty much the last of the old guard that's still doing insanely well is Mortal Kombat. And I'm actually okay with that because I think Mortal Kombat 11 was actually really good. Apparently, Mortal Kombat 12 was supposed to come out this year. It was leaked in an earnings call. Warner Brothers said they expect it to release this year. And I mean, they're the fucking publisher of the game. So, I'm really excited to see where they go with Mortal Kombat from here. Because I thought Mortal Kombat 11 was great. I mean, the microtransaction... What? What the fuck? Dude, Soul Calibur is so good. All of them. All of the Soul Calibur games are fucking amazing. The best one is Soul Calibur 3, though. In my opinion. Yeah, Soul Blade, Soul Edge, yeah. It was Soul Blade, Soul Edge, and then it was Soul Calibur. And then they just kept Soul Calibur from then on. Here we go. I played the ever-loving shit out of Soul Calibur. Oh my god. I must have played hundreds of hours of Soul Calibur with my sister. See, I'm gonna have to defer to your judgment there, because I've played a little bit of Tekken, but I have not played a lot of Tekken, so I don't really know enough to talk about Tekken. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Fighting games have kind of gone downhill. I'm actually kind of excited for Street Fighter 6 though. Like, they have like a free roaming story mode where you can actually roam around and get into minor fights. Like, I remember, I'm not even that big into Street Fighter, but I saw the campaign mode for Street Fighter 6, and it actually looked pretty fucking dope. Most of the time, the story mode in fighting games like that is not very extensive. Oh yeah, that's cool. I know, it's honestly, it's fucking amazing how well he's still doing. Dead or Alive 4. I have never really played that many of the Dead or Alive games. The only reason I'm familiar with Dead or Alive, and I talk about Dead or Alive, is because I know that's where the modern Ninja Gaiden and Ayane came from. And I really like Ninja Gaiden. I have not, no. I've heard really good things about Streets of Rage 4, though. So, I've heard if you like the other Streets of Rage, it was really good. I watched a whole special about how it, so it looks good. Oh, there you go. So, I mean, if you like the Streets of Rage, like I've heard it was a classic return to form, so. I tell you what, the thing I'm most excited for is the Resident Evil 4 remake. Shredder's Revenge, also looks great. I've heard good things about Shredder's Revenge, but, like, every single thing I have seen from Resident Evil 4 remake looks just fucking awesome. Like, I was blown away by how good the Resident Evil 4 remake looks. Oh shit. It is, yeah. And that's why I was extremely skeptical. I was extremely skeptical of them doing a remake of 4, because like 4 is so fucking amazing that it just seemed like to try to remake it was folly. But after seeing what the team is doing, I kind of admit I'm kind of down with it. Who knows, honestly? Who can say? But like I said, I adore Resident Evil 4. I have owned it on just about every single system Resident Evil 4 has been on. I love 3. I love 3. I agree with you. 3 is fucking great. I've owned Resident Evil 4 on GameCube. I've owned it on PS2. I've owned it on Wii. I've owned it on fucking 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One. Like, I have played, and I'm not kidding when I say this, okay? This is not an exaggeration. I must have beaten Resident Evil 4 50 times. Easy. I mean, I have played the shit out of Resident Evil 4. I beat it on the hardest difficulty. So I was extremely skeptical when I heard they were remaking it, but one, it's remade by the exact same team and directors that remade Resident Evil 2. And that remake was fucking awesome. So I already trust in the team. They've already proven they know how to remake a game. The Resident Evil 2 remake was perfection. And two, I love what they're doing. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. They're keeping, this is like, it's like this weird fusion of the old Resident Evil and the new. Like, they're keeping everything that people loved about Resident Evil 4. They're keeping the action, the tenseness, the cheesy dialogue, you know, where it's serious, but it's not too serious. They'll be serious and then they'll make a funny joke. Like, it never took itself too seriously. It had just the right amount of levity. It was never like a joke, ha ha ha, but, you know, it would be serious and then Leon would crack a joke, and it would be funny. So they're keeping that, they're keeping the action, but they're turning it up a notch. They're improving it to modern standards, the aiming, the shooting, but then they're taking all of this stuff from the Resident Evil 2 remake, and they're combining it with the Resident Evil 4 formula. So there's a bunch of sections in this game that are pure horror. Leon in the woods, in the dark. They've made Ganados that are super damage resistant, but super slow, so they work like zombies in the classic games. So they found a way to bring back zombies in Resident Evil 4. In addition to the regular fast-moving ones, you're going to have these slower ones that are like the classic ones. And yes, I was not ignoring you. I am looking forward to the Silent Hill remake. I love Silent Hill, and it looks really good. And they're using Unreal Engine 5, and it looks like a fucking beast. It looked really good. And the lighting in Unreal 5 is really good, so I honestly can't wait to see what they do with it. Lumen is fucking insane. But, so, you know, and I'm not trying to go on a rant about Resident Evil 4. I'm just, like, really passionate about this. It's like, they're taking all of the best stuff of Resident Evil 4, they're turning it up a notch, modernizing it in a good way. You know, normally when people say modernize, that means terrible. But they're modernizing it in a good way. And then they're taking all of this cool stuff from Resident Evil 2 remake. The horror, the this and that, and they're melding it together. So it's like this weird mixture, and it looks so good. And like, even some of the stuff that they said they're doing, I'm like excited for. Like, people were worried after the Resident Evil 3 remake that they were going to take a bunch of areas out of 4. They have confirmed that is not the case. In fact, it's the opposite. They announced that all the areas you know and love will be there, but they've actually added a lot more sections to these areas and added side quests to them. So they've taken a page out of Resident Evil 8's book, and they've actually added like legit side quests that you'll do in exploring off the beaten path. So the village is going to be even bigger, the castle is going to be even bigger, the island's going to be even bigger, and they're actually going to have optional missions you can do aside from the main quest. That's fucking dope. So, you know, and you can even go stealthily now. Leon can crouch, and you have a crossbow you can get to take out enemies silently. Now, they straight up told you will never be forced to do stealth ever. It's not going to be a forced stealth sequence. But if you want to fucking crouch down and use the crossbow to silently take out some enemies, you can. And I love that because it gives you more choices. Maybe you want to pick off a couple quietly before you get into the nitty-gritty. Like, I love that shit. Like, this honestly looks like my dream Resident Evil game. It looks so fucking good. And the graphics look fucking outstanding. It's the first truly next-gen Resident Evil game on this console. Resident Evil 8 was like a PS4 game they added some bells and whistles to. This was made for the ground up for PS5 and Series X. Now, it is coming to PS4, but they have a separate team making the PS4 version, and I'm going to wager a bet that the PS4 version is going to look and run pretty bad. Okay? They did not factor in PS4 into the development. They developed this for PS5 and Series X first, and then they had a team go behind and try to get it to work on PS4. And that that version's probably going to be pretty fucking rough. So this is, in all actuality, a next-gen game. And yeah, I've played all the Resident Evils. Pretty much. There's a couple of ones I haven't played. I haven't played the fucking Dead Aim and Survivor and shit like that. The light gun games. Haven't played those. But almost every Resident Evil game that's ever been made, I've played it. And I own just about all of them. For about as long as I can remember, have been a fan of Resident Evil. In fact, I was born in 1996, and Resident Evil 1 came out shortly after I was born. I came out in May, and Survivor was bad. No, I agree. I have not played Survivor, but I have seen gameplay of Survivor, and it looked fucking terrible. Oh my god, it looked really bad. Like, it is notoriously bad. I have never seen anybody be like, I like Survivor. Everybody said, yeah, it was shit. But I was born in May of 96, and Resident Evil came out in, like, September. So I have been a fan of Resident Evil pretty much my entire life. Wow, that sucks. That's really fucking short. I knew. So sorry, 1 second. I will be right back.